All right, welcome everyone to California WIC Association's WIC Worksite Wellness Webinar series. How many W's can you say in one sentence, right? We're glad that you've joined us today, January 29th, for the Wellness Webinar on Let's Get Physical, Supporting Nutrition and Physical Activity at Work. We're glad you joined us from all over the country, and we know we have people registered from coast to coast, and we hope you find this helpful and interesting at the same time. I'm Margaret Aumann. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the Communications Coordinator with the California WIC Association. I'll be doing a little bit of introduction here, and then I'll be passing it on to our presenters for today, Amy Delicio and Stephanie Carrillo from Public Health Institute, and Sujata Ganesh from the San Mateo County WIC program. We're very happy that they've joined us today. We'll be doing questions and answers as well, so get your fingers ready on your keyboard. If you have a question, you can type it in, and I'll explain that in a little bit. We're glad you've tuned in today, and our objectives are to identify worksite wellness resources for low-wage work sites, discover best practices for promoting nutrition and physical activity at work for WIC employees in particular, and look at strategies for motivating staff to continue those wellness activities. I just have a few logistical points to make so that you are comfortable using GoToWebinar if you haven't before. Some of you may be logged in using your computer speakers, but if your computer doesn't have speakers, you'll be dialed in by phone, or if you have any audio problems with your computer, you can always use the telephone. So the dial-in number and access code were in your registration confirmation email, and then you'll receive a personal identification number or PIN to type in. If you have any trouble, you can go to support@gotowebinar.com, or you can send me a question. If you are on the phone, we just ask that you don't put your line on hold because it disrupts the audio in the webinar. Thank you. We do plan to have a question and answer session at the end. We should have plenty of time for that. So be sure to type in your questions and send them in the question box in your control panel. I'll be screening them and passing them on to the presenters for them to answer, and that's often a great part of our webinar. We are recording this webinar, and you can access it on our website or share it with other people in a few days. For those of you who are new to the California WIC Association, or CWA, I just wanted to let you know what we're about. We're a nonprofit organization formed of the directors of local WIC agencies in California, but we represent all parties interested in the operation of WIC. And we provide training, staff development, public education, advocacy. We do some research and develop policy analysis and policy briefs and quite a bit more. You'll find all that information on our website at calwic.org. And we seek to include anybody who's interested in maternal and child health. So whether it's other service providers or businesses, vendors who are a big part of WIC, and the general public. So we're glad to have you with us today. I just wanted to also give you a brief overview of CWA's WIC Worksite Wellness Program. It was established sometime within the last 10 years as a statewide initiative to align what California WIC employees were telling their families about health with what they were doing themselves, and also the working environment. So local agencies, and there are 84 in California, they can go through a 10-step self-certification process, and we reward them with a certification award. And 33 agencies have done that so far, and more are in the wings. And they need to be recertified every 3 years, and this webinar is part of that process if they so choose. So you can get more information about our Worksite Wellness Program on our website. And if I have time at the end of this webinar, I'll show you around our website and some of the resources there. But right now I want to pass the baton and the screen on to Stephanie and Amy at Public Health Institute, and they will talk about worksite program that they are involved in. So Stephanie and Amy, thanks for being with us, and feel free to give a little more background for yourselves. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is Amy Delisio, and I'll start off the presentation, and then my colleague Stephanie Carrillo will complete it. We both work for the Public Health Institute, but on this particular project, we worked closely in close partnership with CDPH, California Department of Public Health, the NEOP branch, on this Champions for Change worksite program, amongst other campaigns and programs that we work with them on. So today we're going to present on our Champions for Change worksite program. So we'll start off with giving you a little background. So first, our worksite program goals are to improve the access to healthy foods and physical activity at low-wage worksites. So foster supportive work environments that encourage healthy lifestyles and choices, and establish policies that boost our health promotion efforts at worksites. And we also have seen that providing this, we have provided nutrition education and physical activity resources to these worksites to help them be successful in meeting these goals as well. So some of the basics about our program is it began in 2006 through the California SNAP-Ed program, the Network for a Healthy California. It's currently featured in the SNAP-Ed intervention, a toolkit for states, so it's been recognized by our funder as a evidence-based resource for worksites. And last year we served approximately 196 low-wage worksites through our 7 regional networks. We're currently in a transition here at the network, and our new model, I think we have in a later slide, is most of this work will be going through directly through local health departments that receive SNAP-Ed funding through NEOP branch. And the people that we primarily target through our worksite program are hard-to-reach groups. So men, they're hard to reach often with nutrition and physical activity interventions because they're at work. And also the working poor who may work 2 jobs or different hours where they don't easily be able to access services. So those are our targets for our worksite. And the industries that we work throughout the state include the 4 you see there. In certain parts of the state, agriculture is a heavy target for us, as well as the other industries, retail, manufacturing, and hospitality. So the people that we serve are the same people that you serve at your WIC clinics. People coming in your WIC clinics, we may be serving the moms or their husbands or other family members that may be participating in the worksite programs during their work. So as mentioned, currently at the state level, the PHI staff oversee the program and provide training and technical assistance, develop materials. So currently we have a new updated California Fit business going through the process. We can share a little bit about our old, and we'll talk about our new tools. Now the SNAP-Ed funding in California through the California Department of Public Health goes through the local health departments, so they are the ones that will be implementing worksite programs throughout the state. Using our tools, specifically the California Fit Business Kit. So the health departments are responsible for recruiting and qualifying worksites and training. We'll also be coming up probably by about March of this year, up and running some training and resource centers. So again, a new regional infrastructure for NEOP, and that will also provide some support around worksite interventions. Qualifying work sites, so we recently got a wage increase that we feel will allow us to serve more work sites. Also, maybe if you're a WIC agency and you have a lot of paraprofessionals, you may qualify for our services. So at least 50% of your employees are paid $13.79 per hour or less, or 50% of your employees participate in CalFresh WIC or other qualifying assistance programs, your worksite qualifies for our services. Our key resources are free to all. They're on the web, and we may have a chance to look at those closer in a few minutes. But to actually qualify for the training and technical assistance, you have to meet this criteria. And feel free to call us if you think you may reach this criteria. We can work with you to help you qualify your worksite. And I know some of you also operate with and out of your local health department, so you may know of the person in your agency implementing NEOP or SNAP-Ed, and they may also have access to those resources on site or be able to assist you in that way. So as mentioned, our primary tool for work sites is the California Fit Business Kit. We'll just kind of give you an overview how most people start off this worksite program, and since many WIC agencies are already doing worksite programs in California from what Margaret has shared on an earlier slide, you may already have some things established like a wellness committee. But what we do have is a tool that we require all of our work sites to complete is the Check for Health. It's basically an assessment tool that helps them kind of identify areas in their work site that may need improvement. Maybe they have unhealthy vending machines, or they don't have access to clean water, they don't have a lactation room, things that would support the health of the employees. So initially we have them work with them through our TA and technical assistance to help the worksite establish a wellness committee and also do the assessment Check for Health. If you qualify for our training and TA services, then we help people kind of go through their Check for Health and really prioritize what is the most important thing for them to work for. What always helps to make the worksite program more effective is when management and staff are on board. So often this is an employee-employer decision on what they should work on. As you can see, some of our other tools are like specifically targeting certain things, so vending machines, healthy dining, healthy meetings, some other physical activity tool. We have a Take Action 10-week challenge. People can use that as their kickoff. And then the last three resources are new resources coming in our updated version. So you can see creating a breast-friendly work site. Go for H2O, that's particularly important in our ag industry where they don't always have access to water, or manufacturing where they get dehydrated. And then physical activity integration. We'll take a minute now to go to our website to kind of show you the Fit Business Kit and see how you can assess the tools. So here's a PDF of the Check for Health. I'll just click on it so you can see kind of what I mean about the assessment tool. Oh, well, let's hope this works. Here we go. So the Check for Health, how healthy is your workplace? Right now it's just kind of a paper. We do hope to get it in a format where it would be electronic so people could just fill it out and it may automatically spit out recommendations. We don't have that yet, but that is a goal or a dream that we have here. But this just kind of goes over what does your work site look like, gives you a lot of different options of how, and then you can kind of see how they go through and assess their work site. So this is just a quick look. I'll scan through it. It goes through different aspects of the work site. Food culture, vending machines. So these basically inevitably are linked to our additional tools, what helps them focus directly on a particular topical area. We also have a tool that helps people that haven't established a wellness committee ways to really come and establish a wellness committee that could be successful. It's a one-pager on there. And you can, okay. And then you can also see our other tools. As mentioned, the last three tools are new and they're not posted yet. They're currently going through a review and approval process here at CDPH. But that's just this is a website you all can access and look closely at the tools that are available to you. And then we just wanted to also highlight additional resources. So yes, you want to do PA and nutrition education in your work site. Here are some resources that can help you. We have Toolkit for Community Educators. This is an easy, comprehensive resource that almost anyone can train. So your wellness committee can be trained to present these lessons to their other staff members, or management can do those. We have quick and easy PA tools that can help people do, PA breaks for 10 to 15 minutes, like Shape Up Yoga, Power Up in 10, or Instant Recess. So these are all tools that you can also get through the NEOP, formerly known as Network for a Healthy California. So at this time, I'll go ahead and turn this over to Stephanie, because she's going to review some of our case studies and success stories around our Worksite Wellness program.
Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie Carrillo, and along with Amy, I also work at Public Health Institute on the NEOP grant. So I'm going to go ahead and just give an overview of why investing in Worksite, and go over a few of the case studies that we had opportunity to work with over the summer with our consultants. So why invest in Worksite? Why do we want to invest our time and efforts into a Worksite program? Well, we know that people spend more than 40 hours a week in the workplace, and making policy, system, and environmental changes at the worksite has a big impact on these on the low-income workers at these workplaces. And again, as we mentioned earlier, it's unique in that it does serve. It's an opportunity to reach two hard to reach groups, which are the men and working poor. So the next few slides, I'll kind of go over a couple of businesses that are implementing the Worksite program. So over the past summer, we worked with Smith and Lehman Consulting to develop case studies of wellness program implementation at various businesses participating in our program. So we'll take a look at what their employers and we'll highlight some of their successes and learn a little bit about what the employers how they felt about the program and any benefits that they might have experienced as a result of the Worksite program. So keep in mind that the project was qualitative in design, so many of the benefits that the businesses experienced are self-reported. So it's more of what the staff perceived as a benefit of the Worksite program. So we'll start with Camphil USA Incorporated, which is an air filtration company with about 48 employees in a small town of Corcoran, California. It's an agricultural-based town in the San Joaquin Valley. So about 4 years ago, their office manager, Linda Hernandez, launched an effort to start infusing employee health into the company culture. And the tools from our California Fit Business Kit supported the changes that the employees wanted to make. So they initiated healthy meetings, and then moved on to healthy vending and began to eliminate the vending machines in the workplace. So in place of the vending machines, the office manager delivers fruit and granola bars twice a week to the employees. And then they also installed a water dispenser to replace the sugary drinks. And while the staff admitted it was hard to get used to this type of change, they now see the positive benefits of the changes that they made. And one of the key to the success of these changes is the caring and the personal touch of their office manager, Linda, who went the extra mile to give the employees a chance to be healthy and to also just show that they were being cared for in the workplace. Camphil also made substantial investments in physical changes to accommodate health. So their plant and facility managers looked into opportunities for physical activity on site and invested about $6,000 to build an on-site gym. And their facility manager explained that the payoff would be in reduced insurance costs in the long run and healthier employees as well as a better work environment. And because Camphil is located in a really small rural area with limited health resources, getting these kinds of resources in the workplace really has a huge impact on the employees. It's giving them more options to access healthy foods and to be more active. So this gym actually is being used. They log about 5,000 to 6,000 hours, gym hours per month. And so it's available during their breaks, their lunches, and even before and after their work shifts. And so in partnership, Camphil works with the hospital in Corcoran and holds an annual health fair, health screening where employees get their cholesterol, blood sugars, and blood pressure checked. And these screenings are really well attended, partly because of the high level of health awareness that the employees have that's developed since the start of the program. So these activities, these wellness activities at Camphil just kind of show the strong company ethic for health and wellness, which is helping to create a healthier workforce in the community of Corcoran. So a common theme from the case studies was that the employees felt that their company cared for them and that their health was cared about them and their health, and that they were willing to invest in the employees. The plant manager noted his impression that there has been a decline in work absenteeism since the start of the program. So just goes to show you the robust wellness of Camphil. Activities and environmental changes have been an investment into the work site, their employees' health, and has provided important resources that were lacking in their community. So the next business that we want to highlight is a Northgate Gonzalez Market. Northgate is a family-owned chain of grocery stores with about 36 stores throughout Southern California, and they have about a little under 5,000 employees. Northgate Corporation shows they care about their health and community through a wellness program that's designed for both their customers and their staff. And so because of their large-scale operation and reach of grocery stores to impact the community, the company is making a pretty significant and positive impact in their community by infusing culture of wellness and health into their business practices. So Northgate started working with NEOP, or Network at the time, in 2009 to improve employee wellness at their individual stores. And then they also worked with our retail program that we have here to improve healthy choices for their customers. So they were working, they put efforts into working with their staff as well as their customers, and then from those efforts launched a branded employee and customer wellness program called Viva la Salud, or Healthy Life, and their goal was to improve the health of their staff and their customers. So some things to highlight, some program activities are weekly wellness team meetings, regular health education. They do a daily store-wide stretching and organized employee soccer leagues. Northgate has maintained a pretty solid partnership with NEOP and have implemented many of our tools that you'll find in the California Fit Business Kit. And we continue to provide them with support materials, online materials as well. And so their program, Viva la Salud, is helping their staff make healthier choices for themselves and for their families. The staff see the positive impact that the wellness activities have in their lives. One employee said that the employer is doing these changes. It is good for the entire community. Unfortunately, the Latino community sometimes lacks information, and this program has helped spread the word, and little by little we live healthier lives. So they're definitely seeing the impact that that the wellness program is having, and they're able to take it back home to their families and to their communities. Together with the Worksite program, Northgate developed their wellness strategy with their employees as top priority. They recognized that their employees need to be ambassadors of health to the customers, and that as a company they need to live their values within their business practices. Northgate also shows flexibility in implementing their own activities, as they're willing to try new ideas and give stores the options to implement their own program activities. So this strategy has allowed a successful program where employees feel cared for and empowered to spread the message of healthy eating and active living to their families and to their community members. So for Northgate, Viva la Salud appears to be a successful business strategy for their sales and for employment. They feel that their expanded healthy selections and education to the public has resulted in growing sales and increasing popularity across their stores. They also believe that they've seen lowered employee absenteeism and health insurance costs since they started the program in 2010. So just some takeaways from the case study. From the case study project, it's important to realize that this is a multi-level strategic implementation is key to success. So really having support and engagement from the corporate level, having an on-site champion to make sure employees are given the opportunities to be healthy, and some on-the-ground staff to provide support, and of course flexibility to make sure the program is tailored to what the organization and to what the employees need. And so some opportunities for WIC agencies, as we mentioned earlier, your WIC site might qualify, may meet the qualification criteria. So if as Amy mentioned, if you have 50% or more employees meeting the 1379 wage criteria, or if you have 50% or more participating in CalFresh or CalWorks or any other types of programs, we can provide ongoing technical assistance and support and resources. But if not, our resources are free and available on the website, or you can contact us or your local health department or the training resource centers in your area for those resources. And we have our contact information here for you all, and are open to questions. I think we're taking questions at the end, and so we'll be here to answer.
Great. Thanks so much, Amy and Stephanie. I was really inspired to see some of the case studies and hear just how it's happening out in the real world, of course, but especially all the great resources you folks have available to anybody on your website. So I really appreciate you actually showing those to us on your website, some of them, and where we can go for more information. And yeah, go ahead and leave that slide up so that people can jot down your information if they want. And questions are welcome. You're welcome to type them in at any point. We will save them for addressing them at the end. But at this time, it's almost noon, and I'm thinking about two things. One is nutrition. If anybody is getting close to the lunch hour and you want to munch on something healthy while you're listening to the webinar, that's always an option. And the other is physical activity, of course. So I'm sitting here at my computer, and I do that a lot all day long, and I'm shrugging my shoulders and stretching my arms and all that kind of thing. So I would just encourage everybody to take, at their own pace, a little physical activity break halfway through our webinar. At this point, I'm going to pass it on to Sujata Ganesh, who's from San Mateo County WIC program. As I was seeing some of those case studies that Stephanie described for us, I was realizing that a lot of our WIC work sites through CWA's program would have a very similar type of case study to show, and a lot of great successes. Even if they're not documented by research, they're certainly observed by people in the WIC agency. So I'm going to turn this over to Sujata, and you'll be able to see her slides shortly. And there you have them. So Sujata, thank you very much for joining us. We're looking forward to hearing about what San Mateo County WIC is doing in nutrition and physical activity and wellness in general. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the webinar, and thank you, Margaret, for inviting me to present on this webinar. I am Sujata Ganesh. I'm the WIC coordinator for the San Mateo County WIC program. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you can see my slides and hear me okay. By the end of my little presentation, I hope you will get some ideas for wellness presentations and activities and learn some strategies to keep staff motivated to continue with the wellness activities both at work and at home in their daily lives. When Margaret asked me to talk about strategies for staff motivation for wellness activities, I immediately thought about the California WIC Association's WIC Worksite certification process that Margaret mentioned earlier, because that was what gave us the real impetus to formally launch our staff wellness efforts in our local agency here. Back in 2009, California WIC launched the new food package, where they introduced a lot of new and healthier choices amongst the foods that WIC participants receive. Some among them being more choices for different ethnic groups, like tortillas for our Spanish speakers and soy products for our Asian participants, as well as fresh fruits and vegetables. And that was something new and something that was very, very well received. At the same time, in collaboration with California WIC Association, State WIC realized that we needed to have a buy-in from our staff members in making these changes to their food and healthy choices in order to be able to sell them to our participants and encourage them to have a better healthy lifestyle. So we started the Walking the Talk campaign, the Healthy Habits for Life campaign, and we first focused on our staff members and then went on to launch the food package for our participants. State WIC helped us with some education modules. Some of them are listed here, sometime anytime foods, eating the rainbow, which is to do with fruits and vegetables, low-fat dairy, and reducing sugar-sweetened beverages and increasing water. So the journey of our certification involved 8 focus areas, and we were given a period of 18 months to fulfill activities in those 8 focus areas to be certified as a WIC WORKS site. And some of the areas were better nutrition, physical activity, of course, emotional and mental health, community capacity building, lactation accommodations, and we did a pre and a post survey, and we do also conduct periodic evaluations to make sure that we're going in the right direction and that staff are satisfied with our efforts. To begin with, we realized that it was important to have a core group of staff members that can focus on our wellness efforts and motivate the rest of the staff members in keeping on track. So in that picture, we have in the center Annika Aimeli, who is our wellness coordinator, and her team. On her right is Gloria, on her left is Carmen. So the 3 of them have been keeping us on track in the past 4 years now with our wellness efforts. Staff surveys, we started with a staff survey that the state helped us develop, but along the way we modified it and tailored it to suit our staff members, and we asked questions like, do you feel that the number of servings of fruits and vegetables you eat in a day has increased since the start of your wellness program? How has it affected your exercise routine or attitude towards exercise, and other questions. And based on that, we also surveyed them for topics of interest for which they wanted some presentations or additional information. We also included healthy bucks, as we call them, and this was also part of the certification process, where there were mock dollars that we gave out to staff whenever they showed us that they involved in a healthy activity, either that they ate a higher number of fruits and vegetables than they were, or that they walked for a 15-minute physical activity break during their workday, as examples. And what they were able to do was use those healthy bucks towards healthy options. So some swag items were given to us by CWA in the beginning, like pedometers, and we added to those items along the way, and we continue to add to our little bucket, and we hold quarterly auctions where staff are able to basically bet on those items with their healthy bucks and win them, and that has really, really taken off, and staff love that activity, and we continue to do it. Some strategies to maintain staff motivation. As I said earlier, catering to staff interests, so we survey them annually to gather topics and activities of interest. As I said again, we offer incentives like healthy bucks, and we are very encouraging of staff efforts. Some staff members have gone from no physical activity in addition to coming to work and going home to exercising twice a week at a minimum. And some of them have gone from eating bagels or donuts every day to frequent pizza lunches to making sure that they eat a fruit at every major meal, and at least taking a walk every day. So we try and encourage those little efforts as we go along and tell them that every little effort counts. Along the way, when we started our wellness efforts, because our manager, Eliana Schultz, is part of the county wellness committee, she, along with her team, was very instrumental in developing the county wellness policy. And along with that, the county also joined hands with Thrive Across America, a program from Kaiser Permanente, and they have launched a program where you can log your minutes of walking or exercise, and you get incentives along the way. Also, health insurance companies that provide insurance to our county employees have been doing well checks, and staff receive a $100 gift check for a well check that they undergo. So these activities also have helped to motivate and keep the staff motivated in continuing with their activities, healthy activities, and making sure that they stay healthy. Some of the activities that we at our local agency level have taken up, we do an annual wellness day at the park with our families, where we do physical activity in different styles. One year we did it boot camp style, where we called a physical activity instructor, and he led us through a 20-minute boot camp routine. At the same occasion, we also brought in a healthy potluck where all our staff members brought in healthy food items. And we called in a master gardener who gave tips on how to do a home vegetable and fruit garden. Another year, as you can see in this picture, we did it Tongan style. We have a Tongan staff member, so she led us to a Tongan physical activity, dance, and music style. We also have been participating in the Heart Walk every year. Those are some of my staff members. You can see Annika on the left, our wellness coordinator, along with other staff members. And our staff really love going to the Heart Walk. Our county participates at different locations, and we do a 3-mile to a 5-mile walk in support of the American Heart Association. Rainbow salads. At our staff meetings, we have been alternating between a rainbow and a vegetable salad, where we encourage staff to bring any one fruit, one piece of fruit, cut up, that is thrown in a bowl along with other fruit, and then we just share the rainbow salad or the vegetable salad. We also have tried our best to bring in speakers from the outside and develop our own presentations on the topics and activities that staff have been asking for. Some of the topics are listed here: laughter and its health benefits, importance of sleep, portion size jeopardy. We also talked about global warming and carbon footprint, safe lifting, protecting your back. We had a guest speaker come in, work-life balance, and goal setting. Goal setting as simple as maybe increasing their diet by 1 serving of fruit a day, to regular physical activity 3 to 5 times a day. The work-life balance efforts, our county has an employee assistance program, which helps us with guest speakers to talk about work-life balance, and also offers counseling and other services for staff members in a confidential manner, and a lot of our staff members have taken advantage of that. Some of our breakthroughs since we started this program about 4 years ago, with our manager's support, we have worked in 2 15-minute physical activity breaks during the work week on work time, and physical activity breaks at all meetings and trainings. Regardless of how long they are, we take anywhere from a 5-minute to a 15-minute physical activity break. As I said earlier, a county wellness policy got inspired by our WIC wellness activities, and some of the things that they have been working on are doing the rainbow salad and smoothie nutrition breaks during the day, to ensuring that all the vending machines have only healthy choices in them, that all meetings that are being catered by county catering have 50% healthy choices, and that water is provided at all these meetings. Some of the internal changes that our staff have made, donut breakfast was very popular on Friday mornings. Now it's being replaced with granola and yogurt and fruit, and pizza potlucks to celebrate birthdays has changed to salad and whole grain feast. The dessert tables at all our staff potlucks for Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas always have fruit at the table now, mostly fruit, and maybe a couple of sweet dishes thrown in. And if we forget to take a stretch break during meetings or presentations, staff starts stretching while listening to the presentation to remind us that we need a break soon. And employee morale has definitely increased quite a bit since we started these activities, and they look forward to more and more. Some of our future activities are walking around the world, where we are trying to collate all the physical activities being done by staff on a daily and weekly basis, where we're converting them into steps and looking at how far we've gone from where we are. Our next destination is Oaxaca, Mexico, which we hope to attain by March. And by popular choice, we have chosen 7 other locations together throughout the world to go to with our walking efforts. We are also planning a heart health presentation. Know Your Numbers is what we're calling it, to educate staff about some of cholesterol, triglyceride and blood sugar numbers and what they mean and how to manage those, if those are some of the challenges that the staff have. Mix it up again is like the rainbow salad. This in a smoothie fashion, so we haven't tried that yet, so we hope to do that and see how staff like it. And there's Anika's contact information if any of you want to talk to her after. She's one of our team leads at our Daily City site in San Mateo County, and she's our team coordinator. Thank you.
That's wonderful, Sujata. Thank you so much for sharing some of the really creative and often fun things that your organization is doing. There's Sujata's contact information if you have any specific questions for her, but we'll be answering questions here shortly. I just wanted to remind folks of a couple things that were brought up in this presentation, and that every little effort counts. So if your agency has not even begun to work on wellness, or if you've got a few starts here and there, just remember that every little thing can count and build into something bigger as motivation and momentum increases. Also, the other thing I wanted to remind people is that if you're working either in a small company or a small WIC agency, or just a few WIC employees within a larger group, the impact that this kind of wellness program can have on a greater community is really amazing, whether it goes county-wide or just to your local health department or to your parent corporation, depending on your situation. You can see that it affects policy change and eventually culture change. So it's really inspiring to see what's happening there. So I will, we've got some great questions that have come in, and I will be passing these on to our presenters to answer. So one of them, some of them are more detailed and technical, and others are broader, but here's one about a formal pre- and post survey of employees. So specifically for Amy and Stephanie, did the program have a formal pre- and post survey of the employees, like one that assesses current physical activity and nutrition intake, or disease compliance and things like that? Can we have access to that survey if it was done?
This is Amy. So specifically for that, the Worksite Toolkit, as mentioned, we have the Check for Health, which is specifically the environment. But here at the network, we do a variety of interventions. So we do have surveys available that people can use as pre- and post-test. I wouldn't say they're specifically tailored for a worksite intervention, but some of them could definitely get at those pre-behaviors and post-behaviors. So if they contact us directly, we can probably link them up with some of our surveys we use in our other impact outcome research here.
Great, thank you. Did you do anything along those lines, Sujata, at San Mateo County?
Like I said, there was one survey that the state helped us in the beginning to do with the staff component of the Healthy Habits campaign. But along the way, we tried, actually we submitted a proposal to present at the American Public Health Association conference that was held locally a couple of years ago, and for which we tailored the survey and administered it to staff. We are at a stage where we need to do a post survey, but we did do a pre and a current survey.
Wonderful, thank you. Somebody asked the question if these PowerPoint presentations are going to be available after the webinar. Yes, they are, both the recording and with the permission of the presenters, we can post their PowerPoint presentations as well. They'll be on our website and under events, and I can show you where that is at the end of the webinar. So another question is about education tools. So this attendee wrote in, motivation seemed excellent on your programs, but what did you use as education tools for the staff? Lunch and learns, videos, newsletters, etc. So if each of you presenters could give some examples of education tools you used, that'd be great.
This is Sujata. So in our agency, we've used several different ways. We usually do not do lunch and learns because we have a very short lunch break, like 30 minutes. So we let the staff eat in peace. But we do have monthly all-staff meetings, and we use that as a forum for anywhere from 30-minute to a 60-minute presentation on the topics that they are interested in. During our physical activity breaks, which are from 5 to 15 minutes long, we have used YouTube videos, we have used other movie clips, we have used small, maybe a 5-slide presentations. We have used just props and a little talk by one of the wellness coordinators to talk to staff about maybe a case study or something that worked in their personal lives or something motivating that we found online.
Great. Stephanie and Amy, do you have anything to add that you've seen?
Yeah, so our programs use a Champion for Change resources, so some of the resources that we showed on one of our slides. So we have a toolbox for educators, which are lesson plans geared for adults around nutrition and PA. And we also do lunch and learns, and a lot of times the programs will bring in outside partners to do some lunch and learns and do some talks. They also use Harvest of the Month material to provide education to the staff. So it's a lot of our internal Champions for Change resources that you can find on the website.
And then also that Take Action Challenge is kind of a competition to kick it off to get people excited and motivated.
Yes, and that's also in the toolkit. It's a 10-week challenge. Staff volunteer to be on teams, and they kind of work together to meet the goals that they've established.
Great, thank you. So I think the answer is a variety of tools have been used, and a lot of them are available on their website or by contacting the presenters. So thank you. Another question, are there any worksite wellness programs that are also incorporating eco-friendly education and practices in their scope? I think I saw something on one of your slides, Sujata, that looked at something.
Right, we did one presentation at one point on the carbon footprint and talking about the county's efforts in reducing the carbon footprint. One of the things the county does is giving incentives for people who carpool or vanpool together or use public transportation, so we try to highlight that. But in addition, what we implemented in our agency is we used to order big bottles of water from outside. Now we have just installed water dispensers that connect directly to the water sources like the tap to get water in, and we encourage all our staff members to bring their own cups and plates and utensils to our food events or to our meetings to drink water or other beverages from. We are trying our best to get away from paper. So we have done it more on an on-the-job, everyday activity basis, but at the same time we have also educated staff about the carbon footprint on a more global level.
Great. I do know that our third wellness webinar in the series is going to be about the office environment specifically. We've touched on a few of those things today, but on March 5th we'll be doing a webinar that looks at office environment and includes sort of the green office concept. So stay tuned for that as well. Did you have anything to add, Stephanie or Amy, on that?
I mean, not specifically. Again, basically with our funding, we're limited to what we can include in our toolkit, but I think certain things that have interventions that happen in our work sites have probably taken that into account as they're doing that. Less weight. They've also been very creative in a lot of the cases of setting up really low-cost, easy PA space, which wasn't as extravagant as the gym per se, but easy ways to get people to do that PA. And probably I would consider that a friendly, eco-friendly, doesn't use any electronics way.
Okay, great. Another question, specifically for Sujata. Can you tell us more about the transition from cakes and sweets for birthdays and meetings to healthier choices? Many think food is love and love is sweet. That seems like a difficult change, although important. I think I would definitely agree with that. So if you have some tips on that, Sujata, that would be great.
Since we did this as a group effort, I guess there was peer pressure. But more seriously, it was, how do I put it? Obviously, it did not happen in one day or in 1 month or in 1 year. It took us time. But continuing with our efforts, and like I said, we encourage the staff to do even a little bit towards bettering their health. And some of the staff members tried going on a more healthier diet, even though it was not a real diet in a formal sense, but maybe eating healthier and seeing how it improved their health outcomes, how it improved maybe their weight, motivated their colleagues to take these efforts on. We did not necessarily prevent anybody from eating high sugar foods if they wanted to, like desserts or donuts or high calorie foods like pizza. We just told them, try, if you're eating 5 unhealthy foods, try and replace one of them with a healthier choice. So we took it slow, and we do have desserts at our meetings and our celebrations. At the same time, we told them for every quote-unquote unhealthy choice, let us have one healthy choice to go with it. So when it was done in a non-threatening way, where we're saying it's for your own health, and we showed how it works, the staff were definitely more willing. So yes, we occasionally do eat maybe a donut, but at the same time, we encourage staff to not leave leftover donuts or leftover cookies or leftover cakes at the lunch table, where it is very tempting for any staff member passing by to go and try and get a bite. So basically, we took it out of our eyesight, and that really, really helped. Even though that seems so small, it definitely has helped. So it was, 1 day at a time, one meeting at a time, one meal at a time. But we are definitely at a much better place now than we were 4 years ago. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. Anything to add from Public Health Institute about making those transitions that you've seen in your case studies?
Well, really having like an on-site champion in the workplace, somebody that can be a role model and be an ambassador for the organization, that's really helped our programs.
And then I think also with ours, as you saw, there's several tools. So having the employees choose what they want to do. So the employees are in that wellness committee are promoting this to their other coworkers and friends. And so since it's kind of like they're choosing it, we're not imposing it, it tends to go over a little better. It's kind of like, community engagement component within the work site.
Great, thank you. Let's see, a few more questions here. One is specifically whether you would be willing to share the portion size Jeopardy game with anything, Sujata.
Sure, why not?
Okay. I don't know that we have time now to explain it, but if folks can contact you, is that all right?
Yes, absolutely.
Great, thank you. And another question that's come up that I have heard before, and different agencies have handled it differently, but what do you do about getting incentives? So you mentioned that CWA does provide a few when we're able to, when we have funding, to send them out to all certified agencies, but I know that many agencies have found ways to do that on their own. Do you have a few tips in the few minutes we have left?
With us, we actually, they are not necessarily health-related incentives all the time. We do get some donations from organizations or businesses that want to sell us props for our nutrition education that we sometimes use because they're free and they're just samples. At the same time, what our staff have been doing is doing it the white elephant way, where if they have some little trinkets at home that they no longer want but are in good condition, they just throw it in the pile, and if people want them, then they take them. They could be little figurines, they could be maybe an old diary that somebody thinks is useful, maybe it's a pair of earrings. You know, it's not necessarily health related, but something that they can take home and feel that it's something new, you know. To put it in a very, very basic way, I guess if somebody's trash is another person's treasure, though they're not trashy items at all. They're all very cute little things, or maybe there's some old books on nutrition and health or any other topic. So we've just internally had our staff contribute to our treasure, and we pick some of those items and auction them off.
Thank you.
So the emphasis is more on the activity.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just moving on because we just have a couple more minutes. The last question for presenters is, I'm not sure who this is directed to, but so feel free to respond as you can. Was your goal to have vending machines at 50% healthier foods, or are you at 100%? Did you need to subsidize these foods with your budget to make them economical?
This is a county-wide nutrition and wellness policy that's being implemented. So I do not have the exact details of that, but I can tell you that in the past it was all chips and maybe soda, but now we have moved away where we said if it's, I think it goes, and I apologize if I make a mistake in saying what it is, and I can correct myself later and respond back. But if a vending machine is on a county premises or a facility where there are county departments, then I think the foods that are being held in the vending machines need to be healthier foods. And then that the vending machines with the sodas would need to be replaced by water, or have water as a ready, visible choice along with the sodas. So when someone wants to pick a drink, that water is as visible as a soda or a fruit drink is.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that's really key. Go ahead.
We can respond for our worksites. The minimum is 50%, but a variety of things have happened out in the field. So some organizations have completely removed vending machines. They don't do vending machines anymore. They offer water, and build up a kitchen where people can bring their own snacks. Or like the one we presented, they bring in granola bars and fruit for the staff instead of having vending machines. But our minimum threshold is at least 50% healthy for those working on a vending machine project. But people can go above and beyond that if they want.
Great, and I know you have a vending machine tool, correct, on your toolkit?
Yes, we absolutely do, so people can use that as well. And if they contact us, we're also doing a vending study pilot this year, so we'd also be able to share those results and how successful it was.
Great. Okay. I'm just going to take the last minute or so to show folks where they can find more information about recertification. Somebody asked about that. and WIC Worksite Wellness in general. So here's our web page. If you go to Focus Areas, it's one of those. And you'll see on the left-hand side there's all sorts of resources. So the certification page has information about initial certification as well as recertification. Teresa Morris, who isn't able to join us today, but she's our staff person who oversees the program, so she's available to contact. There's Document Center where you can find those kinds of surveys and things that we have. Links and resources are available to anybody in the public who wants things on nutrition, physical activity, emotional health, all the different areas of wellness. Here's a list of WIC work sites. We have about 33 right now, and we're excited that more are coming on board. How to get involved includes corporate sponsorship. So if you know a business who would like to support WIC Worksite Wellness, they could do that on a statewide level. The Agency Sharing Center is still needs to be built up a little bit, but that's where local agencies who are doing great things like what were we just talking about, the Jeopardy game, that could be posted here on the Agency Sharing Center, and we'd like to see more of that happen. So there's lots of information here. Feel free to explore at the CWA website. At this point, I want to thank our presenters very much for sharing what you had, and hopefully you found it interesting and inspiring. I certainly did. And I hope you'll join us on our next webinar on February 12th, which is about mindfulness-based stress reduction and generally mental and emotional health and wellness in general. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us at CWA. Thanks again for joining us, and thank you to our presenters.
Thank you. It was our pleasure.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.